3, multi-step equations with just one variable. We're going to start working with more than one thing going on, more combinations, a little bit difficult, more difficult problems. And then in the next, I believe it's the next video, we'll start having variables on both sides of the equation. Right now, we only have one variable that we're working with. Okay, it's going to be the same variable. It won't be any, different ones. And the goal is, of course, to follow PEMDAS. PEMDAS tells us that we must get rid of parentheses first. So if you do see parentheses in your problem, you must distribute and get rid of those parentheses first. And if not, if you don't have those, then you need to combine like terms before you start solving. So I'll give you a little clue. If there's more than two things on one side of your equation, you need to clean it up before you start solving and moving things around. All right, so for our first example, we have, let's change and make it red. We have 5 is equal to 5m minus 23 plus 2m. All right, so here's my wall, there's my equal sign. Okay, look, I have part A, which is just that one thing over here, one term. Part B over here has 3 things. All right, do you see anything that you can put together first? I've got 5 trucks, or 5M, and I have 2 more. Let's clean that up first before we start moving things around. If I have 5M's plus 2M's, I can simplify and say that that would be 7M minus 23. And that's still equal to 5. I haven't done anything else with that. And that's a good habit to get into. Just bring things down that you haven't messed with and keep it all nice and neat. When you do that, you have a very good chance of getting these problems correct the first time. All right, so now it is not a multiple step problem. Now it's back to 2 steps. All right, so I have 5 equals 7 times m minus 23. Well, minus 23 has to go first. So I'm going to add 23 to both sides. All right, when I do that, negative 23 plus 23 is 0. That leaves me with 7m is equal to, and 5 plus 23 is equal to 28. All right, solving. I still have a wall. Now this is 28 equals 7 times m. Times is done by division. So I'm going to divide by 7. Divide by 7. That gives me 1m is equal to 4. Now, when you're combining like terms, you're simplifying or substituting in. When I took the 5m plus the 2m and put it down here and made 7m, I substituted. That would be a substitution property. When I added 23 to both sides, that would be an addition property. When I divided both sides by 7, that would be a division property. Now, let me show you one. We haven't really talked about this property yet, but I'll go ahead and introduce it to you. Okay? If I have 4 equals 1m and I just can't stand the variables being on the right, I can rewrite it and switch it around as long as I don't change the sign. Okay? It's still positive m and it's still positive 4, but I just turned it around. This would be considered, sorry, I'm writing the wrong thing. This would be considered the symmetric property. Okay, when we switch it around, symmetric starts with the S switch. You switch it around. Okay? So that's the property where you can switch around if you don't like that variable on the right. As long as you don't change signs, you're all right. All right, so that is one problem. And again, you can go back and check your work. If I take this 4 and plug it in everywhere that there is an M, I would get 5 times 4, which is 20. 20 minus 23 is negative 3, plus 2 times 4 is 8. Negative 23, no, negative 3 plus 8 is positive 5. Okay, so you can check your work plugging it in, but it has to go in for every variable. Okay, every variable that it represents. All right, let's try another one. I'm going to clean this off. Then let's do 37 halves, or 37 divided by 2, is equal to the quantity of x, 8x, subtract 1 times a half. All right. You must distribute first before you can go anywhere else because you have to get rid of the parentheses. All right, now when you're taking half of something, it's very, very easy. You just divide by 2. What's half of 8? Well, that would be 4 and then x. What is half of negative 1? Negative 1 half. Okay? Half of negative 1. So that's going to be everything over here cleaned up is equal to 37 over, or excuse me, 37 divided by 2. All right, so I'm still going to be working with fractions, and we talked about this in class. You must use parentheses. So I'm going to add 1 half to both sides. If you don't use parentheses, you're going to have a lot of problems with this. Okay? That just makes 0, and I have 4x is equal to. All right, 37 halves, take and add another one, make 38 halves. Okay? 38 divided by 2, that simplifies right there if you want to go ahead and do that. 38 divided by 2 is the same thing as 19. Okay? All right, so now my problem, I'm going to put it over here, is 19 is equal to 4x. Sorry. Divide by 4, divide by 4, and your answer is x is equal to 19 over 4. Leave it in fraction form because we don't like this decimal. That is your answer. If you plug that in, 4x, you would get the correct answer, okay? You can still plug it in. If you do plug in fractions, you need to use parentheses, all right? So that would be 37 over 2, is that equal to, parentheses 8 times 19/4. And put that off, minus 1, another parentheses times a half. Okay? That's going to be 38 minus, this will make 38 minus 1, which is 37. Half of 37 is 37 halves, so this one does work. Okay? So please use your parentheses very carefully when you're doing these problems. And we will practice these more coming up very soon. See you in class.